All right, first we're going to talk about gloves. First gloves that you probably should invest in my humble opinion, is actually going to be boxing gloves. Now, I know in Jeet Kune Do, it's not a sport. You know, we practice techniques that, you know, are too deadly for sport with our eye jabs and our Wang Jurns and all that stuff, trapping. But these are going to get you the most mileage. A lot of schools won't let you spar in MMA gloves or in bag gloves. Definitely not empty-handed. So most of the time you'll spar with boxing gloves. These are 16-ounce boxing gloves from Rev Gear. I do like these a lot with the Meister glove sock here. This is to make them smell. Ooh, it smells so good. It smells like a Christmas tree. I love sparring in boxing gloves, and I hate it at the same time. These are the Velcro kind. They have kind that you like tie on like traditional boxing gloves. I like the Velcro. It's just easy to get on and off. But these are going to help you like learn how to spar. And if you could do something clunky, or if you could do something like refined inside of a clunky glove, like trapping or pulling hands or clinch work or even grappling to an extent, once you get the gloves off, it's like 10 times easier because you've been doing it and hopefully getting some success in these big old clunky gloves. Next are bag gloves. Bag gloves are smaller than boxing gloves. You're supposed to use them on the bag, hence their name. Some people call these sparring gloves, but that's probably more for like Taekwondo and things like that. I wouldn't spar in I have sparred in these, but that's because I've been doing this for a long time. And when you hit a certain time, you could start breaking all your own rules. But I don't spar hard in these. If I'm gonna spar hard, I wrap my hands and I put on the boxing gloves. But bag gloves are really cool because for me, they have a lot more play in the actual ability to grab. So if I have the other glove on, I can grab. Also, I can trap in these a lot easier because I can open the hand and work on my pak sao and my lap saos and pulling and things like that. Plus the thumb is exposed, so you can use that a little bit. I really like bag gloves. You'll see me a lot with these on. Because I can like do stuff because I still have hand mobility. I can like turn the timer on and off. I can turn the radio up and down when I'm teaching class. I can take these off really easily. These have Velcro. These are obviously my branded Metrolina Martial Arts gloves. The kanji, for those that are wondering, says fall down 7 times, stand up 8, or shichiten yaoki. Like I said, these are my branded gloves, Metrolina Martial Arts brand bag gloves. These are genuine leather, so they smell. They smell like leather. I love the smell too, just like, I think I have a thing with smells. I'm so used to stuff in dojos smelling awful, so I try to make my stuff smell clean. I get compliments that I smell good when we're rolling. It's not creepy at all, but yeah, I don't want to be a stinky dude. Anyway, but these are my brand. I'll show you another pair here in a second. These are my general go-tos. This is the Combat Corner bag gloves. I really like these because there's no Velcro, so I can just slide them on and off. And same exact thing, the thumb is free. I still have my ability to grab. I feel good in them. They're light, so I can demonstrate and look like a badass. All of the important things you need. But get a good pair of bag gloves, and you can't go wrong. It's a good in-betweener between the boxing gloves and the MMA gloves. All right, MMA gloves. You know, I personally like MMA training gloves. They have a bit more padding on the end here as opposed to like UFC gloves, which are like no padding whatsoever. Especially since I'm sparring and I'm hitting my friends in the face. I want to make sure there's as much padding between my knuckles and his face as possible. 2 reasons. 1, protect his face, which is but 2, protect my knuckles. These are what mainly my Jeet Kune Do students use, are MMA training gloves. Reason being is so they can grab and manipulate for a trap, so they can pak sao, and so they can clinch and grapple successfully. I think it's important to have good MMA training gloves like these. These are Rev Gears. They still make these. These are just the older logo and design. These are really good. I like them a lot. I have a special circumstance with my hands, so I like the bag gloves more, but these are probably better for the training purposes that Jeet Kune Do provides, in my personal opinion. I don't have a pair of these, but the ones that Bruce Lee used in Way of the Dragon, Enter the Dragon? Yeah, Enter the Dragon, against Sammo Hung, those kind of kumite karate gloves. I know Sensei JD has a pair. He's that guy. Sensei JD has a pair in his school that he doesn't use. They're just like on display. I don't have a pair of those. Those are super cool. I'm not sure how practical those are for trading. You get MMA gloves, they're probably cheaper and they'll probably last a bit longer. Last set of gloves that I would recommend, but kind of not really, is kind of lacrosse gloves. These do not have a lot of padding on them. These are more for getting whacked with a stick. I use these. These are specially made or specially adapted for my situation by my lovely wife, Ashley. She cut off the fingers and sewed up the parts so it protects my hand in important bits. But these are basically lacrosse gloves or hockey gloves, STX brand, which is awesome because, you know, Sensei Eric Paulson has the kickboxing STX style. I thought it was cool, so got them. I use these primarily for weapon sparring, which is not a part of Jeet Kune Do proper, but it's a lot of fun. You can use these, but these do hurt on getting hit with them, so they're not like my top of my list, but they are an option for you. That's generally all the gloves. Let's move on to sparring gear. Every school is going to be a little bit different on what they require for sparring versus what they don't require. In more of my weapons things, we have the full HEMA helmet. We use that so we can get whacked on the head, and it's terrifying, yes, but it's not scary, if that makes any sense. For us, we go light to the head, hard to the body in our Muay Thai program, and we kind of repeat that in Jeet Kune Do. But for those that want to prepare for a fight or those who want added protection, I do recommend a headgear. This is an old headgear. It's probably as old as I am. I inherited this from my coach, Bill Graff. And I've just kept it because, you know, I've used it. A couple people I know, this was used for, I use this in my fights. And then one of my my first homegrown fighter that I cornered used this in their PKB, Point Kickboxing match. So anyway, good headgear. This one is, it sits on top and straps. Some of them they have more the face guard. Those are fine too. It's pretty much personal preference. More so in sparring gear is the ever important mouthpiece. This is, I don't even know what brand this is. This is a Shock Doctor case. This looks like a Shock Doctor mouthpiece. I won't zoom in on that, but it's just a mouthpiece. I did boil it. It's a boil type. Set it in, so fist in my mouth. I can't talk with it really, but you know, I don't need to be talking. I need to be fighting or sparring. I don't wear it nearly enough, just because I I talk a lot since I own the school and I'm teaching. But when I'm doing Muay Thai, I pretty much, if I am sparring, I'm wearing this. And my teeth are a little jacked up already as it is. I don't want to make them even more. I'm going to stop shaking it. I don't need to make them more jacked up by not wearing them. Next is going to be your groin protector. I'm not going to show you that, but it's important to have, especially in an art where you train dick kicks. Now here, I know I'm going to say something controversial, but I don't think you should be training dick kicks against your friends, or groin shots if you've got, I hope you do have a multi-gendered school. Just don't kick each other there while you're sparring. That's what focus mitts and stuff is for. We'll get to that in a second. Next is going to be like the motorcycle helmet. Again, I don't really advocate that type of training. It adds a lot of weight to your head, so if you get hit, it kind of forces your whole head to move way more so than would normally do. When you train finger jabs, we use the focus mitt. There is probably some validity to talking about wearing the motorcycle helmet and buging the absolute bejeebus out of it, but I'm not sure it's worth your initial investment in getting started. Next is our shin guards. Now these are, again, Metrolina Martial Arts. Metrolina Martial Arts branded shin guards. I like this kind where it velcros around the back twice, has a ankle strap and then a foot strap. I like these a lot because they have a good amount of padding. I can't stand the full wraparound ones. The cloth ones, gosh. But that's personal preference again. But if you like the cloth ones, your personal preference is wrong. Kidding, of course. However, maybe I'm not. Those are really good for grappling a lot. Like these are cumbersome to grapple with. But honestly, like the cloth ones don't have enough protection, in my humble opinion. And I just like these. If I'm gonna spar in kickbox and in grappling and MMA, I'm gonna wear these, and if they get tangled up, who cares? It's just part of the learning process. Get good. These next things the school will most likely provide, but I do have students that buy their own eventually if they want to train at home, do private lessons with whomever or whatever. These are your focus mitts, your tie pads, and your kicking shield. All right, let's talk about things that the school most likely will provide. But if you're gonna go to seminars, train at home, or teach yourself, you're gonna need these eventually. First thing is focus mitts. I love and hate focus mitts. It's a debate for another time, but you need a good pair. A, they're loud, and I love it. But B, I do like actually holding focus mitts. It's a skill in and of itself. I do understand sometimes range gets really messed up with this, so it's good to train both with the mitts and obviously without. But you need a good pair of focus mitts. I don't want you to eye jab my eyeballs, but you can definitely eye jab this flat surface. Now, tie pads, as their name indicates, are good for practicing tie kicks, but they're also good for practicing in Jeet Kune Do. Reason being is you can hit them pretty hard and they can take a lot of damage. And if you got a guy that's got monster kicks, you can use these. Now techs aren't exactly the strongest kicks in the world, so it's not like you're going to be destroying yourself with this, but it's a good idea to be able to hold this and hit and give different targets. So these might not be the first thing on your list. Focus mitts definitely. Next, there's going to be these. Last thing that you might want to buy as far as like padding and stuff goes is a kicking shield. This is a Rev Gear one. This thing is made of steel. This side is soft. This side is not where you kick. Believe it or not, this is 6 years old, almost a little bit older, almost 7. These things are monsters. We use it a lot in Thai. We'll hold here, kick, kick, kick. So these are good, but they're really not that necessary for you in the beginning. It's again if you're trying to teach people how to kick and try and get them to target. I use this sometimes as like a boxing circle thingy that they have. Target. Like target is the word. Now, if you're training at home or if you're going to a dojo, the next important things to think about are like personal training devices that are available to you. I'm not talking necessarily about weights, that's important as well, but we're talking about heavy bag. We got another heavy bag, we have a dead heavy bag over there, and we're also talking about the mokchung, the wooden dummy. The idea with these is like, are they necessary to train? What should you get first? Blah, blah, blah. In my humble opinion, and I made a video about this with Icy Mike coming out soon, on the wooden dummy, on whether or not it's worth it or not. Good discussion there. Stay tuned, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you don't miss that video coming out. It's going to be really good. I was really surprised with how well Mike took to it. No spoilers there, but definitely subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that video. Also, in my opinion, the heavy bag is the first thing if you're going to put something in your house that you should buy. This is the Muay Thai style long bag, banana bag. They call it Muay Thai style. In Muay Thai, they only have really the 4-foot bags. This is a 6-foot bag. You know, I know it's 6 feet because I stand at it and I'm going to jump to its height. Shoop! You can see I'm 5'7.5 3/4. And that's got another few inches to go. This thing is a monster. It bites back. I love this thing. It's been around. This thing's about 6 years old as well. It's been through every iteration of the dojo. I've got one at home now, not hung up yet. Just trying to get stuff transitioned there. But yeah, this is like necessary cardio, body tempering type stuff. I think it's important to have one at home. If not, you can't make it to the dojo. At least you got something at home you can bang on, get some cardio in, and start working up a sweat. There's other stuff you can invest in for your home. You can do the makiwara and punch that like the karate people do. That's not really a high priority. Neither is like a sandbag for iron palm conditioning. That's not really necessary either. You can wear your gloves, your bag gloves, your boxing gloves, your MMA gloves, and pound on the bag and slowly build up that tempering. And then every now and again, you can hit the bag without them on, and you'll see how conditioned your knuckles are to hitting something. And newsflash, mine aren't. So that's pretty much all the starting gear you would need to start training in Jeet Kune Do. Whether you're gonna go to a seminar, you're gonna join a school, you're gonna train privately at home, all of those are valid options on how to train Jeet Kune Do authentically and in earnest. And that's the gear you're going to need. The next video I want to talk about in the Introduction to Jeet Kune Do series is going to be what to expect when you walk into a Jeet Kune Do, I guess they call it Kwon, I'm sorry, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, Jeet Kune Do school, a Jeet Kune Do seminar, and or doing Jeet Kune Do training at home, kind of like a how-to on which and the pros and cons and all that stuff. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you are new so you don't miss any of those videos coming up. Hit the bell notification so that way you never miss mine or any other handsome face I get on this channel. Make sure you like the video, it really helps me out with the algorithm, and leave a comment if this is the type of stuff you are looking for or want. That being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Party on.